Since all these things are thus to be dissolved, what sort of person ought you to be in holy acts of conduct and deeds of godly devotion, awaiting and keeping close in mind the presence of the day of Jehovah, through which the heavens being on fire will be dissolved, and the elements being intensely hot will melt. But there are new heavens and a new earth that we are awaiting according to his promise, and in these righteousness is to dwell. 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 11 and 12. 11, 12, and 13. New heavens and a new earth. I've heard it explained that it means that it's going to be new governments over this earth. And that's logical because it's been used that way in the scriptures. And I've heard some people say that God is going to destroy this earth and make a new one. That's very interesting. Ecclesiastes 1:4 says a generation comes and a generation goes, but the earth remains forever. So that's not likely. But will he make something new? That's really the question. In addition to the earth, Jehovah's Sabbath is well over. He's been doing many things. And because there are people who don't believe that he's the creator, choose not to believe, they believe that he cannot do anything new or will make other planets. But he's not limited to that. He's not limited to the earth. And I personally think that the earth has been too much of a focal point where the people choose to be a distraction. And it's time for the Lord Jehovah God to move on. Not to forget about the earth and the people on it, at least the good ones that he's curating. But it's time for him to move on and do grand things, and not be stuck on this because we don't seem to want to cooperate, not the majority. At any rate, again, it says, since all these things are thus to be dissolved, what sort of persons ought you to be in holy acts of conduct and deeds of godly devotion? Again, love, justice, love, kindness, and to love Jehovah and walk modestly with him. It matters. While something is being dissolved, these are things that's going to cause us to be retained. Awaiting and keeping close in mind the presence of the day of Jehovah, through which the heavens being on fire will be dissolved and the elements being intensely hot will melt. But there are new heavens and a new earth that we are awaiting according to his promise, and in these righteousness is to dwell. 2 Peter chapter 3, 11, 12, and 13. For us, what does that mean? Well, scientifically, since 2008, since I've seen it published, and prior to that, because it was an aspiration that Jehovah God would do something new, please. and look how it's turning out. Not because of my word, it was already written in the scriptures. I'm not the source of this, but in my own thoughts was that, please, Lord, do something new. And here, come to find out, since 2008, astronomers have discovered 3 large new planets, a new solar system in formation. When I heard about it, when I heard in 2009 that it was being done, it was only dust formation at that point. Now we're in 2025 and they say they see exoplanets, the framework of planets that you can see it. And so it's not dust particles anymore forming. How long does it take to make a planet? It's already an exoshell, an exoplanet already. Does it take long for Jehovah God to create things? It's only been a few years, so 2009 to 2025, they're already, and that was in 2010, they were seeing the exoskeleton, when from 2008, they were saying it was dust particle. How long does it take to make a planet? Millions and millions of years? Not likely. Job is a genius. He's a master at what he does. He'll do it with or without us. Do we want to be a part of that? Well, let's cooperate with Jehovah and have a future. Think about that.